it is clear that they have a high level of inventory that they cannot get rid of. And fourth thing is that the price reductions are helping. They mentioned 25 million in incremental revenue just driven from price reduction, but they're also driving up subscription prices. And what is unclear is what the churn is going to be from the rise in subscription prices. They think it's incremental 14 million a month, but it remains unclear. So there are a lot of pieces in terms of consumer demand that are unclear. And that's why, at least in the near term, it's hard to see that they will see an inflection point up in driving top line growth. The last thing I'll say is that look at their next quarter guidance. They guided to 18,000 net additions. That's the lowest that we'll have seen since the first quarter of 18. That just tells us how soft the consumer demand is.
Well, Shweta, I'm concerned about, I should say. I'm not worried. I don't own Peloton, of course. We don't own individual stocks. But Peloton's hardware products versus subscriptions. I mean, he's talking a lot about subscriptions, fine, but it seems to me that the hardware products are Peloton's real differentiator, and I'm not convinced that these things are designed and built as well as they should be. They seem to be spending a lot on building these things. They've had these rust issues suggesting that they don't have the kind of control over third-party manufacturing that perhaps they should. Are you watching that in particular? It's not getting talked about a lot by management, but it seems like if you're really trying to simplify and get this company on track, you want to make sure that you're building products as well as possible for as little as possible and shipping them out.
Yeah, that's true. The good thing that they have going on for them is that the people who are actually using it, among consumers, they have very high NPS scores. So satisfaction levels continue to be high and retention levels continue to be very high compared to any other consumer subscription product. So that, to me, I think that is giving them confidence that their product is doing well. Now, the challenge is where to really focus, where to put their employee focus, whether it is hardware or it's software. And given Barry's experience and his background, I think that he does not believe in too much differentiation from hardware. He just wants to have a high penetration level among households, given the product that they have, with probably modest upgrades to the hardware, but greater focus on the consumer experience, on the software, on the subscription piece, and on perhaps even a potentially advertising revenue that they can generate. So that, I think, will take away a little bit from hardware upgrades.
That kind of dovetails with what he said on the call, and that is that they're in talks with a number of third parties to sell their products. He didn't want to get into specifics. He said it was early, but it does sound like the bike itself, the physical bike, and where it's sold maybe matters less to what comes after.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, that was actually my question on the call to him. And what remains unclear is also the economics that will come out. Now, retailers are not going to do it for free. And so as is, these hardware margins are fairly slim. And when you partner with retailers, yes, it's a great distribution channel, but at the same time, the economics of that are also something to be seen. And so what I think their strategy is to just really penetrate into as many households as possible, as long as they get that subscription flywheel going. Okay, go ahead.
No, Shweta, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but that was good insights. Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon. Shweta Kajuria.
Thanks for having me.